168 hours a week, 52 weeks a year for almost 50 years, Emmanuel Baptist Church has been reaching northwestern Oklahoma for Christ. Most of that time, the worship center is empty. The halls are dark. The space is rather lifeless. But every week, people from all walks of life with different experiences, different struggles and successes fill these walls for worship, encouragement, meaningful relationships, and Bible study. One of those people is Darlene Combs. In November of 1972, Rick and Darlene Combs came to Enid with a prayer and a dream of starting a printing business. They poured themselves into their new business venture, and in 1 month, they opened PDQ Printing to serve the northwestern Oklahoma community. From that frozen winter of 1972 until today, Darlene Combs has been growing her business to become the largest printer in the state this side of Oklahoma City. But people who know Darlene best, her family and her friends, know that PDQ is only a platform. It's the way that she uses God's gifts and resources to be a witness for Christ in our community. Some missionaries travel around the world to tell the story of Jesus. Darlene Combs just goes to work every morning. Each week, in little ways, Darlene is making a difference. Whether she's printing worship programs for her church or literature for mission trips or ministry brochures, Darlene has committed her printing business for kingdom purposes. This week, we want you to get to know another face, another life transformed, one person out of many that makes Emmanuel a different kind of church.
I was born in a small town in Arkansas. My father was a landmark missionary Baptist minister, and we mostly lived in Arkansas and California as I was growing up. I remember that I'd always been brought up in the church. I was very well aware of, how to be saved, and I was outside playing by myself as a little girl. And I remember I just stopped and I started talking to the Lord, and I remember I said, I'm ready to be saved and I want to pray right now. And I prayed to Him, and I was saved right there in my backyard. I met my husband Rick in Little Rock, Arkansas. He had been working for IBM, and Rick and a couple of his friends decided they'd start their own business. They needed a secretary. I applied, and I got the job. And I think it was pretty much love at first sight. And 38 years later, we're still together. We wanted to go in business for ourselves, so in 1972, we decided to start looking around for a business. The printing industry was going through some major changes at that time. The franchises were popping up everywhere. We decided we'd try it on our own. And we were looking for a town to open our business. Well, we were told about Enid, Oklahoma. So we drove over in October of 1972. We liked what we saw. And we rented a house, we rented a building, and on November 1, 1972, we moved into our house, and by December 15, 1972, we were in business. When I first moved to Enid, I visited Emmanuel a few times, but my priorities weren't straight back then, and we did go to a church for a few years, another church, and then another few years went by, and then a good friend of mine, Stephanie Sojak, invited me to come to Emmanuel. And I tried Emmanuel the next Sunday, and I've been here ever since. The church I grew up in was very legalistic. I never really knew that God loved me. I pretty much thought that God was mad at me all the time. He was ready to punish me for my very sinful nature. But here at Emmanuel, under Pastor Wade's teachings, we've learned about grace and mercy and love. Connecting at Emmanuel is one of the things that makes Emmanuel special to me. I have a wonderful Sunday school class. I go to Rochelle Burleson's class, and we have a great group of ladies. These ladies have taught me so much about prayer. They are true prayer warriors. I've often kidded with Pastor Dan that I can't sing and I can't play the piano, but I can sure print. And printing has just become a ministry to me. I can use that to spread the word.